Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Golden Grotto Lounge. I'm here with Jorrit van der Valk of James Bond Nederland. We've been good friends for many, many years. Jorrit, how are you?
I'm good, Benji. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you in the Golden Grotto Lounge, a new podcast for James Bond fans where Bond aficionados share their opinions in lively discussion. So to start it off, what are you having? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Macallan 12.
Oh, yeah. I know, they have it here at the bar. It's lovely. I'm actually having a martini, my usual martini.
Of course, yeah. 6 of them, right?
Yes, I'm on the 6th one because I waited for your boat to arrive. So, Bond 26. What do you think? Where is it going? What do you know?
It might take some while, I think. I think we have to wait, for many periods of time. Maybe 2-3 years from now.
Mm-hmm. So we're speaking 27, 26, 27?
26, 27, I think so. 26, Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
Why particularly Christmas time?
Because of most of the time they bring the films out in December during the holiday season. So that works well for them, like the box office and so on. The most important thing, of course.
I remember the Brosnan Bonds were always out November, December.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it was a good time for
some of the Craigs as well, October, November.
Yeah. And why do you think it's going to take so long?
Well, first of all, they haven't started. That's what we all heard here last
but
time.
Why?
I don't know. I think they're doing other things like theater or maybe another theater show with Daniel Craig. You never know.
What's your opinion on that?
Barbara,
is that a good thing?
No, it's not. No, Barbara loves Daniel, so I think she can't let him go. So probably they're still doing things that we don't know. Now I think.
But he's gone.
He's
literally gone.
For Bond, yeah. As Bond, he's gone. Yeah. He drank too many martinis with Safin, and No, I think it's gonna take a while because they have to reinvent it all.
What do you think reinvention will bring? Where could they take it?
I hope that they will bring it back to the old years, like before Casino Royale. Just a mission, a girl, a briefing, exotic locations, and then it's just 2 hours and mostly 50 minutes of fun, action-packed spy movies. That's what I hope.
Should it be set in another time, in the 60s?
We can try it for one, and maybe then in another time. It has to be more standalone films, I think. It was a good experiment, and it worked well with Daniel Craig. I really enjoyed it. Not the last one, but okay. It had good parts, but most of the parts were
debatable. At best.
Yeah, indeed. I hope that they will return to more like more spy. It is a spy, so I would like more like the Connerys, the first Connery films, typical spy movies, in my opinion.
Do you think it's going to work in a time like today? Because I thought the first Connery one was rather slow. From Russia with Love was really stealthy and dark. Does that kind of film work today, or does everything have to explode?
Depends on the markets, of course. So the box office markets like China or the United States, where they want action, and it has to blow up. But I think when they mix it well, and I think it's not will probably not be the first time that I mention this, but when they go a bit Mission Impossible style, I think that might work out, because those Mission Impossible films, especially the last 3, were much better, in my opinion, than the Bonds.
Oh, you really shake a tree when you mention Mission Impossible.
I know.
Bring it in context with Bond.
I know.
Some people really do get upset.
I know
about
that. Yeah. I
love them. I love them.
They're great. Especially Fallout was good. Did you saw Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Yeah, of course, in the
Yeah.
cinema. Yeah,
Yeah, me as well. And I
when
thought
it still was part one.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it was a great movie. Of course, it had their flaws, but most of the time I really enjoyed it, and it was almost like a Bond film, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It had all the ingredients that a Bond film should have, and it was also with Fallout was the case. I thought Fallout was much better than the Bond equivalent Spectre. What was brought out around the same year. So, yeah. I think
And Henry Cavill in it.
yeah, that was fun. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Henry Cavill.
Could be, but I think he's too famous.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not what they want. They always want someone who is not too famous, who they can figure to the Bond they want, and
who they can mold.
Yes, mold. That's the good pronunciation.
Yeah.
Coming from an English teacher, so I'm learning. No, I think that when they will find someone like Pierce Brosnan, for instance, who was, of course, known for his TV work, not so much for the film work that he did. When they find someone like him, and they can bring him up to the spy thing, that will work out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, if they went with Henry Cavill, you would draw in a lot of audiences, also the women. I mean, I have so many friends that say, if Henry Cavill's in it, I'm going to watch it.
That's true.
And if I say I'll make a video on my YouTube channel, usually the ladies don't watch it often. My friends, my best friend or my friend in Hamburg. But she says, is there Henry Cavill in it? Then I'm going to watch it. And then I'm going to subscribe to your channel.
Ooh.
But so Henry Cavill draws an audience on both sides, male and female, and I mean it would pack the cinemas if they would bring him on board.
Guess so.
Rather than an unknown face, I would say.
Well, it doesn't especially has to be an unknown face, but it's someone who is known but not yet too much known. You know
not
what I mean?
overexposed,
yeah, like
overused.
Benedict Cumberbatch was always a candidate for me. Tom Hiddleston was a candidate for me. But when you see Tom Hiddleston in the cinema, you think, oh, that's Loki. So, you know?
Yep.
So that's the thing that I mean.
Typical typecast thing that Sean Connery hated.
Yeah.
He didn't want people to see only James Bond in him. So whenever he appeared somewhere...
Yeah.
Having that James Bond image. And I mean, he was in a Hitchcock film, and I always thought, wow, it's Bond in a Hitchcock film. But it's not Bond, it's Connery.
That's
but
true.
You project this persona on the actor.
Especially Sean, because I think he was the most famous James Bond that we ever had. But he started it all, and when he did the tours with the Aston Martin DB5 around the world, he couldn't move. He was followed into the toilets. It was crazy. It was more, like Beatlemania, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I as an actor, I would have thrown it all away just to have my peace and quiet.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And
that's what he did at the end of his life. After he did always get the example, The Rock. That was, I think, his last big feature film that he did. And then he started slowing down, and he appeared in some films. He did some animation at the end of his life with Sir Billy, but then he retired and went back to the Bahamas. So
one more martini, please. Thank you. The waiters are very attentive here in the Golden Grotto Lounge. Largo is just next door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got his own private room.
Of course he has.
Yeah. This is just for us here.
Does he also have that mind game when you're strapped into an electric device, or is that?
I don't know. I've never been to the other room.
Okay.
I've only been here because I like it here. I like the ambient lighting and well, it's a grotto after all. Yeah. Service impeccable, like a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
So that's really really good.
I'm going to take a bourbon and Coke. So, Bourbon and Coke, please.
Did you get that? Yes.
Thank you.
He saw you. He saw you.
Thank
That's
you.
Perfect.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh.
Bourbon and Coke.
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy.
After a Macallan.
Yeah, crazy combination, huh? I might take a sip, so.
It's absolutely. It's crazy.
It's great, but the grotto is crazy. Especially when they
Well,
got the live
It's the Bond world. Piano. The only thing they could manage to get in here was a piano. But, well, at least it's quite good.
Yeah.
We say Bond 26 needs to go back to standalone mission.
Yeah,
that's what I like as well.
Yeah,
I'm really in favor of that. But setting it in another time, the 60s probably, I could imagine it would be very, very, very stylish. With
definitely.
the opportunities you have today in set design, in costume design and everything, it would be really fantastic. But the thing is, some things of today, like modern gadgets and stuff, would have to stay here in this time.
Yeah.
You can't bring them in a film that is about the 60s.
That's true.
Or a modern day Aston Martin, for example. But some product placement wouldn't work.
You're hitting the spot there, because the Bond films are started with Dr. No, Red Stripe beer, it was, I think, was one of the big major sponsors then, and they need those sponsors, because without the sponsors they cannot make a new film, and that's what you especially saw with the last one, and also with Die Another Day, which I always call Buy Another Day, because it was so much product placement. It was crazy. And it was also with the last film, because the budgets are still growing. I thought, what was No Time to Die? 250, 300 million. I think it's crazy amount
along the
of
lines
money.
Of that,
Yeah. So you need those sponsors. You need them. So that's going to be a problem if you have to create custom things. Of course, they did the DB5 for No Time to Die on a BMW chassis. There were all M3s underneath, but that's a way to do it. But you have to do it with everything. You have to change everything. Maybe you have to even make special watches, what they do, by the way. And that takes a lot of investment, but also in clothing, in gadgets, especially, what is possible. I think they can do it. But they have to have many manufacturers with them who want to invest in special things, which maybe they cannot sell to the public.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the other way. Because they do the investment, but you have to get their investment back.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the trouble I see with setting a film in another decade.
Indeed,
that would really be it would be hurtful to the film production and the budget, obviously. Yeah, so it has to be in modern times, which is also good because Bond has always gone with the times, and has taken international conflicts or areas of trouble, let's say, as a basis for developing a story. So we still have enough of that in the world. Otherwise, they can always bring back some megalomaniac.
We have so many of those. We have so many of those.
Absolutely.
Now.
In modern equivalents. Tech giants.
Yeah, that would be a good one to do another tech film, I think. And that's what they did with, there it is again, Mission Impossible. They did AI.
They did.
Yeah. And that was maybe a bit controversial to do, and to make AI do everything, because that's what it does. For people who don't see it, it does a lot. It's not like Terminator, but okay. But maybe they can do something back like Cold War. That would be something. Or Bond on a mission.
Cold War, then we're in the 80s again.
That's true, but the differences between East and West are quite large at the moment. So I think that might work.
With the whole Russia situation, wasn't it Fleming who said the Cold War never ended?
I think he's right. It's
somebody said the Cold War never ended.
It was on snooze for many decades, but now it's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have the Middle East, of course, which is exploding at the moment.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, indeed.
So who would you cast in Bond 26?
As James Bond?
as everyone.
Well, I think I'll keep my choice for Bond under the wraps for a moment, but I would love to bring the MI6 team that we had with Craig back, like Ray Fiennes, like Naomi Harris, Ben Whishaw, Rory Kinnear. They work. And what I really loved about those characters, especially Skyfall and on, were that they were active in the field. It was not the classic Bond comes to gets a mission, and off he went. He says, "Oh, Marty Patty, what would you do without you?" And then he goes, he walks away, because that was a thing that I really liked about those films from Skyfall on, that they were active. Like Q on the Geislagkugel in Sölden. That was fun, He's afraid of flying in the next film. He's flying, but okay, that's no worries. That's film, right?
But wouldn't it feel weird to bring the whole MI6 team back like it was in No Time to Die and overall the Craig films, with Bond 007 being dead at the end of No Time to Die, and then they return with a new face, a new 007? Wouldn't that feel weird? I mean, I would change the whole cast around.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because of course the death of Bond, but we have to understand that it was a standalone period in the Bond films. It was an alternative universe, because in the books he never died. So can he die? I think he cannot die. He's an action hero.
He didn't really die, but in From Russia with Love at the end, he gets stabbed by Rosa Klepp's shoe.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't know what happened to him, so you could say Fleming wanted to kill his hero off, just like Conan Doyle tried to kill Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
But in the next book, Bond was fine.
Yeah.
So
it might work. They did Judi Dench from 95 to 12 as M with 2 Bonds. So
that also felt weird. I always thought that was weird.
Yeah.
The transition from Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig with Judi Dench as the superior, the MI6 head.
Especially because Brosnan's Bond was an older Bond. He was an agent, a tough agent who was colored by the missions that he did. He knew what he was doing. I wrote an article about Tomorrow Never Dies where I really explained that I love those manners, the break-in at in Hamburg at the newspaper factory. It's also he knows exactly what to do. It all goes like clockwork, what he does when he goes in to the roof all silently, and then that's very stealthy. That's very spy. That film has many of those spy moments. That's what I really liked. So the difference. Sorry. Sorry about that.
They have good bourbon.
They have very good bourbon, yeah. Yes. And then you see the big difference between Die Another Day and then Casino Royale, where Bond is a loose cannon. He doesn't especially know what to do. He just got his 00 status. He's still processing the new job that he has a license to kill, and all the things that happen to him, all the emotional stuff. And then to see the same boss, the same character.
Yeah.
Pity. Yeah, it's not a pity, but it's difficult if you talk about it like this. Yeah.
I just was thinking about that yesterday. The Brosnan films, especially Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough, when they hit cinemas and I saw them for the first time. I mean, Tomorrow Never Dies. That was my second Bond film as a fan.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, this was all so grand on the silver screen, and everything fits so well together. And if I watch the film now, I'm still amazed how this marriage between image and sound, the music of David Arnold, I mean, everything in this film fits like a glove.
Yeah,
that is,
I think,
such an ultimate composition of what makes a film great. Sure, it has its flaws, like every Bond film has flaws, but
Yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies is this sort of action thriller, typical 90s action thriller, but it is elevated to a totally different level by this iconic Bond style.
Yeah.
You know?
And
And
especially
David
the
Arnold
music.
has this in his music.
Yeah.
He transports it through these big orchestral pieces.
Yes, and
And
I
this
think
is so fantastic.
I think that he was in fourth gear in Tomorrow Never Dies, but he went to top gear in The World Is Not Enough with the music, because then he throws in everything that he has, everything.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
so much effects, music, the whole drums, everything, the Bond theme. It's maybe a bit over the top, but it's up. It's top action. It's top music. I think it's one of my favorite soundtracks.
Musically, The World Is Not Enough was over the top. Yeah, when you think of the Caviar Factory track, which has a lot of electronic effects and music, and Tomorrow Never Dies, in contrast, the opening sequence, the Arms Bazaar, for example, where you have that big orchestra with strings and horn sections and everything, carrying that tune along that repeats itself throughout the entire film.
It does.
And I often find myself whistling just this signature motif of David Arnold, of Tomorrow Never Dies, which is what these films are supposed to do. They are supposed to stay in your memory.
Indeed.
Casino Royale is the same. David Arnold did Casino Royale, and also his motifs for that film stayed in my mind. But then Quantum, it lost me, and then when Thomas Newman came along, it lost me completely. There is nothing that stays in your memory from these soundtracks.
Not many. No. And of course, the Quantum is a film that goes so incredibly fast. You have to blink. You blink with your eyes and with your eyelashes, and then it's over. But I think it's the era. Where the time period where the film was made in with the writer's strike, which hit that film very badly, and that is what you see. Even Daniel Craig tried to repair the script and writes bits, tries to rewrite it to make it better. So you see that, and that's such a pity. And I don't think it's a bad movie, but you have to watch it many times to see the better parts. Like there's a scene when he drives with the red Ford Bronco in Panama, when he's overthinking what happened with killing of Slade, the meeting with Green, the chase with the boat. Then he goes to. There is a short period when he drives through some of the parts of the rainforest with some of the houses there, and it has very nice cinematography. You see him up close. You see his a bit of thinking what happened, and it's silent. It's not that fast. So, the film has some moments that I think he's thinking, what the hell am I doing? What is happening? Why does it go so fast? And especially at the end where he's confronting
Camille,
and then he's confronting the boyfriend of Vespa. He's so much in control, and he's changing in that film to the agent that we know, and that's.
But now tell me this: how many Bond fans would analyze it the way you do?
None.
What do you think?
Not many. No. And that's the thing.
When you speak to other fans, and you say exactly what you just told me, how many told you, "Oh, I never saw it that way"?
Many. Yeah.
So on first viewing in the cinema, how am I supposed to see things like that?
And that's the big flaw of Quantum of Solace. Indeed. Yeah. That's true, because it goes too fast.
Not just the Quantum of Solace.
Many.
There are other instances where this happens, where you can interpret a lot of things into the films and certain scenes. Like, for example, I analyzed this one scene in The Spy Who Loved Me when he speaks to Major Anya Masova, and she says, "I'm going to kill you when this mission is over."
Yeah.
And she asks him if he killed her boyfriend in Switzerland.
Yes.
And he turns around and he waits and he thinks about his answer, there is a long silence.
Yes.
And he turns away from her, and you think, why did they do that? Why did he not just say, yes, I did it? Because, and that is your own interpretation as a fan, because he was thinking about his answer.
Yep.
He was thinking about lying
Indeed.
or telling her the truth.
Yes.
What is the better option here?
Yeah.
And I think he was thinking, and he was being honest.
Yes.
As a gentleman.
Indeed.
Totally subjective. It could have been just a dramatic moment, like Roger, turn around. It looks better if you turn around. And okay, I'll do that.
Maybe he improvised at the spot, because that's
maybe he did.
He did that on many occasions, because he always was goofing around and trying to change the script and trying to bring other actors from their apropos, just to try to make it better, and of course trying to make them laugh, because Roger was the the man who loved to goof around. But
absolutely, yeah. So let's go back to casting.
Mm-hmm.
Casting Bond 26. You won't tell us your favorite.
I will tell it now.
Choice for Bond. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't want to press you.
The thing is, when the film comes out, I think 26. The man is a bit too old. And my choice is James.
But if it's before you say it, if it's the one that you say now, if they pick him, I buy you a delicatessen in stainless steel.
That would be something. I'll hold you to it.
I know.
His name is James Norton.
Interesting.
Yeah.
James Norton.
Yeah.
Where did you see him last, James Norton?
I saw him in that series that he plays the vicar. What's the title again?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That would be the one I saw as well. Yeah.
And the thing is, he did some feature films. He did, of course, a lot of BBC and ITV drama and detective series, and that's I think the pool where the casting agents and the people from Eon Productions try to pick their Bond from, especially those BBC costume drama bits. So I think he's not too famous. He's not too much known, but he has, of course, a flaw, and it's his first name.
I wouldn't call that a flaw.
Okay.
I think there is a much bigger flaw. The much bigger flaw is that I think his appearance and his acting is too soft.
Okay.
It is too... it does not possess the... I get in troubled waters when I say that, but he doesn't possess the masculinity you need for the part of Bond. Just judging by the series you just mentioned.
But he didn't do any action, so we never saw him in action. Or like a police officer, a tough policeman, constable in Liverpool or Manchester, for instance. So yeah.
No, but he was in Rogue Agent with Gemma Arterton.
Yeah.
He was in Rogue Agent.
Okay.
That was quite good, but he has this sort of... He has that face that your mother-in-law would love. Sort of, he's a mother-in-law type.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe
he's
not too strong.
38.
Yeah. That's
he's
the thing.
38, which is around Craig's age when he started Bond.
Yeah.
James Norton was in McMafia as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was rather good, but none of that, especially not Grantchester, where he plays the vicar, has standout action sequences. So we don't know his capability of doing action sequences and stunt work these. And I just don't see him in that.
We'll see.
I can't imagine it. I really can't. But okay, let's...
I think my delicatessen are not in yet. The silver thing.
Well, there's still time.
Indeed.
I still have 3 years to get it.
But what is your choice? What do you who do you think is?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so undecided.
Yeah. But it's very hard.
I have always said it is really hard. I have always said it will be an unknown face, but I see the trouble with it, as I said, because the trouble is they need to interest a lot of people to go to the cinema and pay for tickets to have a box office result that is worthy of what came before.
It has to be someone who is on screen and who grabs you immediately.
Absolutely.
Like Pierce Brosnan did, like Roger, like Sean did. So yeah.
If imagine if you just throw it out there, if you have a movie poster, James Bond 26, well, let's say Property of a Lady, starring Simon McFirthendale.
Who?
You've never heard of that? Exactly. You never heard of that person. You stand in front of the film poster. You have a face that is on it, but you say, who the hell is Simon McFirthendale?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that person.
But is he the piano player that we hear, or has he another name? The piano player in this grotto.
I don't know the piano player's name. I don't know. I could ask the waiter, but let him play the piano. If you disturb him, he might stop.
He might.
I like it. I like a bit of background.
Indeed, yes.
Jazzy.
Yes.
It's like a time travel to the 60s.
Lovely stuff.
I mean, it looks the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a pick for a Bond actor. I would, if I would be a casting director, I would at least like to see a screen test of Henry Cavill in some Bond scene. Just because I'm very, very curious about that.
Yeah.
I'm not completely over Clive Owen since 2004.
He has a good look. He can play action.
He has yep. They all are not getting younger.
No.
But you have sort of a wish list of James Bond candidates.
That's the thing.
And Clive Owen, I loved Clive Owen since these BMW films that he did.
Yeah, that was great.
That was basically just a very expensive marketing campaign.
Oh, they still do.
BMW
they still do crazy marketing campaigns with celebrities. Yeah, they still do.
Yeah. And he's done a lot of action films, some good ones, some not so good ones. But also, I would really love to see a screen test. Every one of the new actors, whether it's Aaron Taylor-Johnson, everybody I had in my video, that Bond actor roulette, I've only seen one or two things of the respective actor that I introduced there in my video. So it's not enough to form an opinion.
Yeah, they even did. BMW did Selma Hayek, and they had Arnold Schwarzenegger even in one of those films that they make. Yeah.
So let's talk villain. Who would you like to see as a villain?
Ooh. Oh. I haven't thought about it, so I have to do it on the spot.
Is it time for a female villain again?
That would be fun. Yeah, that would be
duo?
fun. Oh, also, yeah, like Mayday wasn't a villain, of course, but that was a strong duo, Max Jordan and Mayday.
I would rate her as a villain.
Yeah.
Mayday.
Yeah, more like a Jaws figure who when it counts, choices Bond's side, and yeah. Who is a good villain? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's a difficult question.
It's very difficult. Yeah. Maybe Joaquin Phoenix might be some candidate.
Napoleon.
Yeah, did you saw Napoleon?
I saw Napoleon, in December.
And your thoughts? Short thoughts.
Short thoughts?
Yeah, sure, because we're still in the grotto and we're talking about Bond, so.
Yes, I needed to go to the loo the entire time of the film.
It was very long.
No, it was very, very long. Yeah, it was very long. It was good. Yeah. It was a good film. It had historical inaccuracies, but I'm willing to overlook them some, but not really, because it was Ridley Scott. So he should have made the effort. Yeah. But I never liked Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, in the
I
film,
really must say.
The film, you mean?
No matter what film he did.
Okay.
No matter, I'm not a fan of Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
Never have been. Napoleon was good.
Yeah.
However, it was sort of almost tailored to Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. But the rest, beside the face, is costume design and set design,
That's
and
true.
making it look like
Yeah.
Napoleon's time and making him look like Napoleon.
And the biggest flaw that I had with the film was, and it was 5 minutes in or 10 minutes in when they started with the big, with the decapitating of
Marie Antoinette.
Okay, I sit there with my friends in the cinema, and Allard, as you know, my best friend, he said to, or I said to him, why isn't this film in French? That was my first thing that I thought about. This is completely played in the French. Everything is French. The people look French, and they're all speaking English. So I thought, okay, you know,
it's sort of like Les Miserables, where they have it always in English and with accents.
Yeah. Oh.
Which is sort of every Les Miserables is like that.
Yeah, that's true. But a villain, maybe I have to pick one who plays villain roles, or do you think that maybe Michael Fassbender in a villain role, is that something maybe?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if you give me James Norton as Bond,
He's a good actor.
You can give me somebody who's not regular to villain roles. I mean,
that might be something. Or what's his name again? Who played Thanos in the Avengers?
Josh Brolin.
That might be a good one, I think. Yeah. But they think, of course, because the Avengers films with Thanos as the villain, it's the first Avengers phase, of course. He was, of course, very known as a villain. Yeah, so maybe that is not the best choice.
I mean, the Bond series had a great, fine sense of casting villains over the decades.
Yes.
I mean, and also actors that weren't a big name in other countries. For example, when you look at GoldenEye, and you have Urumov, who was played by our German actor Gottfried John. Nobody in America knew who he was.
Good choice then.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with Gerd Fröber's Goldfinger. Nobody knew him outside of Germany, and they saw him in this dark German thriller of 1958, I think. Where they thought, oh, he could be really good.
Okay,
And throughout his life, he did villain roles a lot, but he also played other stuff. You know, he was a very, very joyful, happy, friendly, and almost comedic person.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, on Goldfinger, he joked around on set all the time. There are photos of that, and he was almost as lively as Roger Moore in his best days. You know, and I don't know, Josh Brolin, known from the Avengers time, sure. What kind of villain could he play? I mean, his physique is very...
He's big.
He's big. He's really broad shoulders, deep voice. So he must be a larger-than-life villain.
A villain who lost it all. It was like a Max Sorin, but then a big and strong Max Sorin. Yeah, I always think as Max Sorin as one of the most crazy villains that we have ever had in the Bond films. So that's always
absolutely. Bond girls. What are your favorite actresses of today?
I like Brie Larson. I like Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
She would be lovely. She would be great as a Bond girl, I think. But she has to be a tough Bond girl. Not just a Bond girl. Oh, James Bond girl. She doesn't suit that role, I think. And I don't want an James Bond girl anymore. I think that's
an old James Bond girl.
Oh, James, you know.
Oh, an James. Yeah. Okay.
So that's
Stacey Sutton.
Stacey is the biggest example, of course. So I think she will fit.
The woman who couldn't see a blimp coming.
Yes. Or completely surprised.
Always remembered as that.
Yeah, or were completely surprised that they were chasing someone in or just fleeing from the San Francisco police by a fire truck. That was also one to remember.
Priceless. Yeah, absolutely.
And of course the gun.
I wouldn't see Emma Stone in that.
The gun with the rock salt, of course. That's also
However, terribly effective.
Yes, very. No. Emma Stone has to play someone who's tough, like Eve Moneypenny, for instance, or Camille. I think that will suit her. Vanessa Kirby is beautiful. So I think she will fit as a Bond girl. Also a good actress.
I would also go to some actresses of The Crown.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because although in The Crown you have, of course, the posh image, the posh British accents and everything, but I think some of them, from their facial features and performance,
Indeed.
I mean, and yet not Olivia Colman, because she's a total comedy grenade. I wouldn't see her being a femme fatale or a Bond girl, but some of the other cast, definitely.
Maybe if
Why
you want
not?
to do something more Latin American, Jenna Ortega might be an option.
Yeah, again, drawing in audiences with big names.
Yes, she might be a good one. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
She also did Scream, by the way. Yeah. And maybe as a villain.
Imelda Staunton.
Yeah. She might be an option. Yeah. As a villain.
As a villain.
But she played a villain in the Harry Potter films, and she did it.
Yeah.
It's not bad, was it?
I didn't like her in The Crown, though. There was I don't know, there were a few percentages missing to being convincing as Her Majesty the Queen. But why not? If you're going for female villain, sure.
She might be an option. And would it be great to see Meryl Streep as a villain? That would be something, right?
Meryl Streep, how old is she now?
Yeah, she's old, but I think she can do it.
Yeah.
That woman can do anything, so why not this?
Yeah, I mean, some lunatic at the time at Sony considered her for Blofeld.
Hey, what?
No, well.
Sorry.
No, the real real story was.
Sorry.
Well, it's our own separate room,
That's
so
true.
nobody cares.
Gives a funk.
But the way I understood it was when they were brainstorming Spectre, somebody brought forward the idea for Blofeld to be a woman.
Wow.
And some Sony executive reportedly said, well, that's not going to work. That's a stupid idea unless Meryl Streep plays it.
Uh-huh.
So they were not considering her, but they were just saying that's a ridiculous idea, only feasible if Meryl Streep plays it. So they would have only entrusted the part to her.
Wow.
She's a very versatile actress. I mean,
Indeed.
we've seen what she can do.
Yes.
The Iron Lady and so many things. I would also love, and on the same level, Margaret Thatcher was played by Gillian Anderson in The Crown. I could also see her as some femme fatale.
Yeah.
She's also a bit older.
Yeah, but that's not a problem. Look at Monica Bellucci. Was a great choice for a Bond girl, in my opinion.
Yes, and absolutely wasted.
Yeah.
Wasted. And so for these few minutes on screen.
But it is, many of those great films have Bond girls who are killed off, first of all. And they have small screen time. Such a pity, like Fields, for instance. It's one of my most beloved Bond girls. She's so beautiful. In my opinion. So it's such a pity that she had such a short time in the film.
Yeah, she was basically just thrown in eye candy.
Yeah, indeed.
Love interest for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, also with Milicevic is her name. Her last name?
Ivana Milicevic,
Also eye candy. Yeah.
The Shiver's girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah. So
true, yeah.
That's the thing in those films. Such a pity. Also, Ana de Armas was also wasted. She had so much more quality to be longer in that film. But the thing was, if I have it right, I'm not sure if you know the story, that Cary Fukunaga loved to have her on the show, but she was filming another film. She had a week or so off, and then they could fit her in. Something like that was it? I think it was. So
yeah, that's how it felt.
Yeah, that's how it felt. You got so much more.
She was squeezed in. That's how it felt. Especially because in press junkets before and in interviews before, they said Ana de Armas' character is really an equal to Bond, and she's so strong and she comes across as so dumb on screen.
It's my first week in training. Yeah. Oh my God. And she kicks
Yeah,
ass.
the
That's great,
dialogue.
but
Oh,
yeah, that was very.
the dialogue is so underwhelming.
Yeah.
Ridiculously
She
underwhelming.
was swearing like hell.
Yeah, I mean, I laughed myself to tears in the cinema.
Yeah.
How ridiculous that whole scene was.
That whole scene is ridiculous. Killing off the whole spectre because they have to. Because it is just putting those loose ends together. Also, the killing of Blofeld. My goodness. Phew, it felt so unnecessary.
Everything wrong. So last but not least, Bond 26.
Yes.
Where should it be? What locations would you pick? Where has Bond not been in over 60 years? I mean, we're sitting here in a grotto underground.
Mm-hmm. That's why that's why it's so
obviously.
chilly. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, I love they did Norway, of course, in No Time to Die. That was a great suggestion. But I'm a big fan of Scandinavia, so that would be good in Finland maybe, or in the forests of Sweden, at the fjords. In Norway, they didn't film. I think Africa would be a great option as a place where Bond has never been. The logistics.
Where specifically?
The logistics will be a nightmare. South Africa might be an option. Maybe something. They did, of course. Now they did Egypt, of course, in The Spy Who Loved Me. So that might be something.
The Nordic countries that almost always has a cold feel to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So you think of snow Bond, ice.
Yeah, that would
Bond,
be good. Yeah, and I would love to see the new actor in his naval uniform as Commander Bond, because that's what I really missed with Craig. Yeah. Because he has to be sometime in those films. He has to be the Commander Bond, as we know.
How many times has Bond worn his Navy commander uniform?
I mean,
there's
3.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
He wore one. The Spy Who Loved Me.
Sean did.
Roger Moore wore it. Sean did it in You Only Live Twice.
Yes, 3.
He was on the submarine.
Yeah. And did he also?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So that's a pity, because he's the commander. Come on, Commander Bond. Yeah. So that's. I would love to see more like a bit more army, but then Bond also in that army fighting with maybe with soldiers even. That would be something. Would it be cool to see that connection that he, with the rank that he has? Is that a crazy thought?
No, not.
But
I have to think about it. I don't think so.
It might not fit because he's then too vulnerable. Oh,
it depends.
He fighted.
I mean,
he did.
You're always one step before it turning into a military drama.
Yeah.
But, straying away from an action film to a military drama, showing the inner workings of the British military. Yeah. But don't know if that appeals to a large audience.
That's true. But on that subject, I think the scenes that Timothy Dalton's Bond did in The Living Daylights with the group of I'm not sure what his character name was. In I think it was Morocco.
Mujahideen?
Yeah. Also in Morocco, I think it was with you know what I mean, the
Prince something.
The Prince ... Yeah, that was nice to see. And in other locations, would it be good to send Bond to Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was never in Canada. He was always in the United States. They filmed maybe some pieces for Bond, some exterior shots, or they did. They do the spy? What was it again? A View to a Kill with the submarine. That was Canada, right?
I think so. Yeah.
High up in.
I would have to look it up.
High up in the Northern Territories.
Wasn't the Union Jack jump also in Canada?
You mean from
Mount Asgard?
From The Spy?
In Canada.
I was with
somewhere in Canada.
I was with John Glenn.
I think
last year I was at the Shaken Not Stirred event where they had John Glenn, and he spoke about that. We have it in our video. What happened with the jumper?
Yeah,
telling about
and the skis.
And what he did when he walked up to the mountain and before he spoke to them, he crapped himself in the bushes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. But that was filmed in Canada. That was
Okay,
Mount Asgard in Canada. But it wasn't highlighted as a location.
No.
Canada was not highlighted
But
as
it's
a location.
such a beautiful
you know?
country, such lovely,
Absolutely.
lovely people, and I think that might be something. It's also part of the empire, so
Exactly. That's why it could be brought into
Yes.
context with any story they
Yes,
think of.
yes. Indeed.
It's part of the Commonwealth.
There we go.
The empire doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry, the Commonwealth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
On that note, bring me another martini. Please. The empire sort of ceased to exist.
your eighth martini, and you're still with us.
Well,
laughing.
don't bother. Yeah, well, it was. You only live once.
That's true, and twice.
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good to brainstorm these ideas. I would also
Indeed.
say New Zealand
Ooh, yeah,
or Australia.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And so, I mean, is the guys from James Bond Down Under? They would probably jump at the chance a film crew coming to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they would interview the hell out of everyone.
But I have many. When you speak about Australia and New Zealand, there are so many options. They have snow. They have high mountains, especially in New Zealand.
Yes.
And
yes.
you have rainforest in around Adelaide. No, not Adelaide. Darwin. And of course the desert in Alice Springs. So there are so many options, and big cities and big landmarks in Sydney. So yeah,
And
why
that would
not?
be a chance to put Bond back on a horse.
Yes, yes, and to keep Bond for one movie in one country.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, in Skyfall, it was mostly the UK
Yes.
that we saw on screen, but yeah,
And it rained a
but
lot.
scaling it down. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, well, the higher you go up,
Yeah.
Scotland
Oh, yeah.
always rains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 That's,
The Scotland scenes were moody enough for me to like them.
Mhm.
That was okay, but it was all like it felt like somebody is pushing a very heavy blanket on you.
yeah.
Like this whole Craig story arc of his past and this darkness with his childhood and the Scottish landscape
Yeah.
and then the attack happening in the dark.
Yeah.
It was also.
But it's also very
I don't know.
It's the mood of the film, so it fits.
Yeah.
It fits. He goes back to the place that he hates, the place where his parents are buried. Yeah, and everything is sold.
But it felt so forced upon me as a viewer in the audience. I mean, when you compare it to From Russia with Love, which is a very dark film, a dark spy thriller,
Indeed.
but it is not thrust upon you that this is a dark espionage thriller and that you have to feel gloomy.
Okay.
But From Russia with Love, I mean, it opens in darkness,
Yes.
where they have this training course with the fake James Bond and everything. It's darkness, and then suddenly it's illuminated by all these lights.
Yeah.
And also Istanbul, the way Ted Moore shot Istanbul was, when you compare it to Dr. No, again, comparison is very important.
Of course.
Dr. No, lush, vibrant, the Caribbean. It's like a holiday brochure, you know?
Yeah.
And From Russia with Love is sort of dark Istanbul, long shadows, dark alleyways. When Tatiana Romanova goes to see Kleb, she goes through a dark alleyway, and you just can see what's behind it.
And you feel
and then, of course,
this craziness of Kleb when she comes in and what she does to Tatiana. It's very very crazy crazy Russian thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just from image composition and framing of Istanbul and all these scenes, you have the feeling that danger is in the air. It's lurking around every corner.
Indeed.
And that makes the film so spy-like.
Yeah. It's one of the best.
Typical
It's one of
60s spy-like.
It's one of the best. I think it's top 3.
Yeah.
Top 3, 4, top 5, top 3 for me as well. Yeah, it's one of the best Bond films ever. Indeed.
And in Skyfall, I thought that this darkness was thrust upon you as a viewer.
Okay.
Purposefully, not through in parts through storytelling.
Yeah.
But then image composition and framing of the director of photography. Yeah.
And also
This bleak landscape of Scotland that he drives through with the DB5 and then arrives at his childhood home.
And of course
I don't know.
Yeah, of course the villain is also his mission is to kill M, but what is the mission? Is that his only mission? Why is he there? How is it possible to prepare everything like that? To completely take over the MI6 and even get everyone in like that. What is that? The new Secret Service. What's it called? With C. It's always completely influenced by Silva. It's a bit, and also of course to bring it to an end in Inspector, that all those films are connected. Everything is connected. There are so many loose ends in that. Dominic Green. Why is Dominic Green involved? How is that Spectre? Okay, he has a completely different idea of his dictatorship, as I say it now, than all the others. He doesn't fit in that Spectre thing. Absolutely not.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, a lot of these plot lines feel off. Yeah,
absolutely. Indeed.
Yeah. So we're on the same page. Bond has to go back to standalone.
Yes.
One-time cinema visit. Be done with it. Yeah. Look forward to the next one.
Yeah, and they have to stand him back in space one time. I think that would be so cool. With the technology that we now have, with the options, also in CGI and options to build things, maybe to do zero G flights that he floats. It would be so cool.
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, thank you, Jorrit. This has been fun.
Yeah, likewise.
This has really been fun. Golden Grotto Lounge, episode 1. I really like that. I would love to invite you back for some more talk on Bond, because I really like your insights on everything. Always have.
Thank you.
So whenever you have the time, you're welcome in the Golden Grotto Lounge anytime.
It would be a joy.
Thank you very much. Dear listeners, thank you very much for listening to our ramblings about James Bond. We're gonna enjoy another drink and send you off into the night. Until next time. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.